Hey y'all, it's Shitpost Friday.
Hey, what's up dudes and dudettes? Brad the Guitologist here. It is time for Shitpost Friday again. And just when we thought we'd have some reprieve from talk of bankruptcies and the like, we have Guitar Center back in the news. Their credit rating has been downgraded yet again by Moody's. And this time it's on the absolute threshold of default. In fact, they place the current transaction that they are making to try to restructure their debt as technically putting them in default, and it's adding $50 million even to their overall debt. So once again, not looking great for Guitar Center.
Kellogg's Cornflakes presents Cornelius Rooster.
Also, I wanted to talk about what's going on with cobalt. Anyway, this guy who is a Russian is trying to corner the market on cobalt, and he's been trying to do this for years now. He's been buying up all of the available cobalt, and the reason he's doing that is because he feels like the future is headed in a direction where cobalt, which is an essential ingredient for making a lot of the batteries that are going to run these electric vehicles, and also batteries that we find in everything from the camera I'm using right now to our cell phones. They need this cobalt in order to operate. So that might be something we see affecting us in the near future. The inability to find good AlNiCo pickups, also good AlNiCo speakers at reasonable prices. And cobalt is a very rare material anyway. You can't really mine for it. It's a byproduct of mining for other things. So it's not like you can go out and say, oh, I'm gonna start a cobalt mine and just build up the supply of cobalt. You have to go out and find copper, and then find a bunch of copper out of the ore, and then some, the throwaway ore, you reprocess it and you'll find some cobalt in it, but the amounts per ton are just really, really minuscule. So he's got a huge supply of the stuff, and unless he is coming off of it, we could see higher prices for AlNiCo speakers and pickups in the foreseeable future.
Yo, listen up, I got something to say.
Thrill and fun for everyone. Sessions for beginners, tiny tots, Christian music night, and country dancing and lessons too.
Got a bunch more stuff in line. I thought I would give you a bit of a preview of what's coming up. I've got whatever the hell that is in that box. I've got a Vox amplifier back there in that box. That one is going to be one of the next ones. Got another one down there that needs to be seen too. I've got this one here in this box that just arrived. So these are kind of new arrivals. I've got this one down here, which is one that I sold to a customer a couple years back, and he said he had a problem with it and brought it to me for repair. I've got this Gibson here, which is that a Minuteman? I think that's that's a GA15 RVT. I still have this custom back here I need to get to. That one's going to be one of the next ones up. So those are the things that are up and coming. I have some product reviews coming up in the pipeline. And I know some of you guys don't like this sort of thing, but I have to do these sorts of things because, for one thing, I need this power supply. And this company said, hey, we like your videos, and an email, like they all do, even though they probably haven't seen my videos. They just saw some statistics. But this is probably going to be a pretty decent power supply. I've seen a couple of other YouTubers have given this a good review. A couple of guys that I watch, actually, and I think these guys contacted them also around the same time they contacted me. I've got some viewer mail that's coming up. I have not forgotten about you guys. I'm sorry I haven't mentioned you yet. I haven't even opened these packages, waiting for viewer mail to come up. But Banggood also sent me another package for review, so these are coming up. This is kind of a mystery box. This is another thing that I really desperately needed for my station, and they agreed to send me one if I would do a review, so that's cool. And that leads me to the subject of doing product reviews just for the cost of a free product. I have 42,000 subscribers as of this video, and most of my videos I think are getting somewhere in the 10,000 to 15,000 range. So, you know, it's a fairly decent size audience, and I have noticed on my Banggood affiliate account that I do achieve a lot of sales for them. You guys buy a lot of their stuff through my links, and I really appreciate that. That supports me, it helps me out quite a lot. It gives me basically just an added sort of side paycheck that helps me buy the things that I need, tools, supplies, all that kind of stuff, because none of that stuff is really cheap. But, you know, doing reviews for just the price of the item itself is really not something we YouTubers should be doing. There was a discussion on the Tone King's channel, I guess it was last night, and Phillip McKnight, is that how you say his name? Phillip McKnight. Anyway, they were talking about, you know, how much they were making on their channels and this and that, and kind of the economics of a YouTuber. And I thought it was an interesting discussion. You know, they kind of went off in some territories that probably got a bit boring for most everybody else, but I understood what they were doing. But it's an interesting subject, because here's what I think as far as YouTube channels go. We don't value ourselves as highly as we should. You know, they made the point, or Phillip McKnight made the point that, and I'm just joshing with you, dude. The minute you get my name correct, I'll get yours correct. But anyway, he was saying that Andertons, you know, he was pretty certain that, and I'm certain of this too, Andertons, they get paid for their videos in addition to getting free product. And I'm sure that's the case with a channel as big as theirs. But even with channels as big as his channel and Tone King's channel and my channel, we should be not only getting a product for free like this, but we should also be kind of demanding, hey, look, how about instead of sending me a free thingy for me to review one time, why don't we do like a month sponsorship, where I'll mention your name, I'll do a short clip at the beginning or something, or at the end of my videos, you know, just mentioning that this episode is brought to you by such and such, whatever. You know, I kind of pitched that idea to a company the other day, and it went down like a Led Zeppelin with them. But I really don't care, because I think this is going to be the future for me as far as the way I handle some of the requests to do reviews and that sort of thing, is because I'm starting to get a lot of them. I'm starting to get a lot of greetings. We love your channel, you know, and this sort of thing, and we'd like to send you this thing for review. So I'm getting a lot of that sort of thing. And I've really noticed it since I kind of hit like the 30,000 threshold. It seems like I've been getting more of those. But, you know, they want to send you a free product, which really didn't cost them a thing to do. It cost them very, very little, peanuts, really. And it's virtually free advertising. It does cost them a little something, and I guess if they did a bunch of them across a bunch of channels, they would really get their money's worth, because they would be reaching, you know, potentially hundreds of thousands of viewers across multiple channels for very little investment. So that's very lucrative for companies to do that. There's one company in particular that make a brand of cleaner, contact cleaner and so forth, and I won't mention their name. They've actually done this to several channels, I noticed, kind of at the same time, sort of like these guys did with this. I notice when they're kind of on the prowl for channels, because I'll see other channels start to post videos, and I've gotten that email also. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, you got that too. But a couple of other channels, you know, went ahead and did it and took the free product and gave them a review. Well, you got to understand, you guys who did that, you got to understand, they should have paid you for what you did, because the level of advertising that you gave them was well in excess. I mean, they got the better end of that deal, put it that way, because the product doesn't cost them very much. They can put together a little package of products and send it to you, and you know, you can kind of make that video, and even if the thing gets 5,000 views, it's going to be up there pretty much in perpetuity. They know you're not going to take it down, so you're going to leave it. So anybody that searches for their product will have you kind of being nice about their product in a video, you know, so it's really helpful to them. But I think we're undervaluing ourselves as YouTubers, and you know, be very vigilant. don't be afraid to overprice yourself or to enter into a negotiation. Say, here's what I think I'm worth. Here's what I would like to do for you. I would like you to sponsor my videos for maybe a month's time. We'll see how it goes. I'll give you a discount rate for the first month. I'll produce like a short clip. I'll show at the beginning of my video. Today's video is brought to you by such and such product for all your such and such needs, whatever. But I'll show that not only once, but on every video that I do for the next month. And you just give me X dollar. Rather than sending me your product where I make one video for you, you will actually potentially be reaching a way more massive audience, but you'll have to pay me. I'm not going to just do it for free, basically, or for the product that I may or may not even end up using. So, that's my input on that. That's kind of my take on it. I don't think we're really valuing ourselves the way that we should. If you actually look at the hits that some of our videos achieve, the viewership is very high, and an equivalent ad on a traditional media website for the number of views that and probably click-throughs that our videos generate, it's well worth it to them to start paying up a little bit, some of these companies. And now that's not to say I don't appreciate some of the offers, and I get it. That's their opening salvo. That's where they want to be. And I'm all for it. Like I said, I'm all for entering into a negotiation on this kind of thing. But, this is kind of an appeal to other YouTubers too. Don't sell yourself short. And the other problem with doing those reviews is that you take a hit. My channel takes a hit every time I do a product review like this. It's almost like spending your political capital if you're a politician. You build up a lot of goodwill if you're a politician. You do all these things right, and then every now and then you do one thing kind of wrong that reaches across the aisle to show that you support the other side or whatever. It pisses your base off, but it wins you, potentially more people or more favors, and you can trade things later on at horse trade deals. It kind of puts you in you trade your political capital. Well, we have capital too as YouTubers, and you should be careful about how you spend it, because the YouTube algorithm will punish you. I have noticed that, usually if I do a product review, my views do go down somewhat, and then subsequent videos after that, if I go back to doing the same thing I was doing before, my regular everyday videos, they don't achieve as many hits then. So I kind of have to build the algorithm back up again to get my capital back up to kind of, blow my wad again on a product review. So you got to be careful about that kind of stuff, dudes. And I've noticed a lot of you guys who do these product reviews, your videos aren't doing as well as they once did, and I feel like they should do. So you need to consider that kind of stuff too. So anyway, don't sell yourself short. So there's that. And one more point I want to make on the freebies for reviews thing. I kind of was going to conclude that whole clip, and I realized that I've been wearing a Levi's hat that they gave me as a freebie this whole video. So they're going to get free advertising for this video. But if I was smart, I would have actually put a black piece of tape or something over that. And the reason I would do that, even though they sent me this for free, the reason I should do that is because we never had any agreement or deal that I would advertise for them in this video. Did we? No, we didn't. So rather than giving them a free ad right here, covering that up would be the smart thing to do. And you see people do this a lot. And if you ever gone to a show and you've seen the guitar player who obviously is playing through a Marshall, or obviously is playing through a Carvin, or obviously is playing through a Fender or whatever, why would they have that black piece of tape over the logo? Well, the reason for that is because they are asserting their value. They realize their value. They know they're playing in front of thousands of people, and they know that there is a value to that. Having all of those eyes look up on the stage and look at the back line and see what they're playing, because half of those people are going to go out the next day maybe, or not half of them, but a certain percentage of those people are going to say, okay, what was he playing again? He sounded awesome. I want one of those. So there's a value to that. And unless they have an official endorsement, they have no bargaining power. If they're already out on the road playing through this stuff every night, what incentive does the manufacturer have to give them free support or give them free equipment if their stuff breaks down, or to work with them on signature models and to pay them for that, or all those things that now are really important for artists because so many other avenues for revenue are being closed to them. No CD sales really to speak of anymore, so they have to make that up other places. So, but that's just one point I wanted to make. It kind of made me think of it when I realized I had this hat on. But again, don't sell yourself short. Know your worth. Anyway, so that concludes this Shit Post Friday. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button if you have, and for now, y'all take care. If you have one of those really thicky guitars, you can mic it up on the L's right there, and that'll take some of the beef off of the tone.
You know what statement? Step into a Slim Jim.
So, you need a new car. How do you get financing?
I have diabetes.
Your clothes. Give them to me.